Hi, and welcome to the L4G news update for this week. And I am Alex Murray. I'm the district leader for Southwest Hearts, and joining me is Chris Ogle. Come and say hello, Chris.
Yeah, hi there, Alex. Well, this is a surprise. What's this guest the host?
Yeah, I thought we'd have a little guest spot for the week, but no. I'm really pleased I can have this opportunity to do it. I mean, we haven't had a chat for a hangout for a while, have we?
Well, it's a bit reminiscent of the old days. This quite good. And I was just thinking there, as you sort of brought me in, that maybe this is something that we should do in the future, is to allow other district leaders the opportunity to participate like this. It might actually be quite good fun as well, and give them a chance to play a part in the national news show. So
I've always thought that maybe there could be a segment with each of the district leaders where they could come on and talk about their region on a national level, and rather than you talk about an event in their area, they come on each week and talk about their events.
yeah, I think that might be sort of an extended show that we do. That it gives us that extra flexibility because. Yeah, I just think that might work quite well, but it's probably a bit tight to do it on this show, and we are trying to get this to be a bit shorter, so we better crack on with it.
We'll crack on this week. I believe you'll first want to talk about network expansion.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real hive of activity. Clearly, people are away in August, and we've had quite a few events that have clashed with people being away. So it has affected events, but not only minorly. I suspect about 10% of them, which is in line with sort of people that are away at the moment. But September looks like it's unbelievably busy. There's sort of, I don't know how many new events already scheduled for September, but it must be getting up towards 10. And we've got things happening in Newcastle, things happening in Derbyshire, Penrith up in Cumbria, Durham and Redcar, more stuff happening there. We've got West Country. We've got Howard Murray is going to start us off down in the Cirencester and Stroud area, and his first event's going to be in Stroud. We've got a new breakfast starting in central London, and we've got a CSR luncheon starting in Islington, Hillingdon and Ealing. We've got things bubbling along in the background there, and even in your district, Alex, we've got a curry, and I'm not allowed to say it, but other interesting projects in the pipeline as well, and Luton as well. There's stuff happening up in Luton, and in fact, I think there's stuff happening in almost every district, so it's really exciting. It's going to be a massive growth surge as we head towards the end of the year.
Yeah, it all seems to be every week I watch this, not normally hosted, I watch this and go, there's so much happening at the moment. It's always really good to hear that, not just while I'm in Southwest Hearts, there's everyone else who's starting to get ideas, and I know there's new district leaders coming board and training at the moment. It's really good to see that the whole coverage of the UK is getting kind of covered with Link4Growth events.
Absolutely right, yeah. So, no, very exciting, and I've had inquiries from the Midlands, from North Wales, other stuff in Berkshire, so lots of other stuff that happened, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with all the stuff happening, is there anyone in particular this week you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, funnily enough, there is a couple of people that and I'm going to cover some other people during the rest of the programme, but I want to say a real special thanks to Genevieve Feasy this week. Now, Genevieve, she's probably not very high profile in Link4Growth, but she runs an event in Gravesend. I made the fundamental mistake of calling it Graveside while I was down there. Gravesend, and she runs an event down there. On the other side of London, she runs an event in Tame and one in High Wycombe. It's almost diametrically opposite to the one in Gravesend, but she's from Gravesend originally, and she knows loads of people down there, and she's often down there, so that works well for her. But I was up at Cressex this week while you were hosting the one in Watford, and she, almost single-handedly, she's got that group. There's like about 12 people there, quite a few new ones, and she's just so positive about Link4Growth, and yet probably we've given her the least support of anybody that's come into Link4Growth. So a real massive thank you really to Genevieve, because she's doing some amazing work out there, and people don't even know who she is. So I'm going to encourage her to participate much more. But she's doing some fantastic work. So big thanks to her, and also to the Chingford Three Musketeers. There's three ladies that run the Chingford event. Jane Walker, Fiona Flaherty and Deborah Oakerby. And this month they couldn't have the venue they normally have for the coffee, so they changed it to a church hall, which was just down the road from where they normally have the event. And there was like 36 people at this tea, so it's the first ever L4GT that we've had in the afternoon, and it was just a really awesome event. So, you know, it not only was it not where they normally have, it's a different venue entirely, but it's a completely new event, and they were the first ones to do it. So a massive thanks to them, and also to Paul Violet for encouraging them. He's the district leader out that way.
Do you know if that was going to be a regular afternoon tea, or they're going to move back to the coffee they normally have?
They're moving back to the coffee, but I sowed the seed for them to consider a tea in the district, because we've got another event starting in the Waltham Forest district, which is in Walthamstow in September. I forgot to mention that one. That's in Walthamstow, so that's just down the road from where they are. But I think an afternoon tea would fit just as well, and talking to some people there, I can see drinks happening there as well pretty shortly.
Is that all the shout-outs for the moment? I know you talked about having some throughout the show. Was that it?
Yeah, that's it. That's the main ones I want to get out in, because I think they've done exceptionally well, those people this week.
That's always good to hear, and I know one way of, as pop shout, as one way to get yourself highlighted on Link4Growth is using social media with, and I believe you want to talk about education and learning.
Yeah, those people that watched last week's show will remember I mentioned that now for those community leaders and community hosts that are stepping up, we're now offering our half-day training programs free to those people for the first 3 months. So what this will do is it will help them basically get to grips with social media for their own enterprises, but also for obviously promoting the events that they're involved in with Link4Growth. So that's really good news, and there's loads of other spin-off benefits as a result of that. But we've got 3 workshops coming up in the not too distant future. So anybody listening that's a new district leader, new community leader, community host, you talk to your district leader about these. Get yourself booked on, because this is to help everybody in Link4Growth to just develop themselves much more quickly. So we've got a Facebook with Intent workshop coming up this Tuesday. That's on the 12th. On the Thursday of this week coming, we've got the Google Plus with Intent. Again, that's another one to find out much more about what Google Plus is about. And then we've got a LinkedIn one in the following week on the Friday, on the 22nd. So these are all here to help us all get much more out of our social media. So if you're not too sure about it, go on the website, go under the trainings tab, go onto the half-day workshops, find out when they're all there. The next 3 months programs are all listed there, and just get yourself plugged in.
I mean, I can recommend the Facebook one. I went on it myself and picked up a few tips. I don't have a business page, but I know that I went on the course, and Deepa Kotak, who runs it, she spends some time with you. If you haven't got a business page, she can help go through it with you and set it up from what to put in the basic settings to how you're going to talk about adverts and promoting a page. Or if you have got a page, she's really good at telling you tips. She'll have a look at the page for you and say, these are things you maybe do better, these are things that this is good, keep doing this type of thing. So it's not just how to use Facebook, it's how to tailor Facebook for your business. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think Carol Dodsley runs the Google one. All of the trainers in Link4Growth have got exceptional knowledge on social media, so do get on there. Even if you pick up just one thing, I can guarantee you it'll make a big difference.
Yeah, and this week's been another busy week for me in Southwest Arts. I mean, I don't know about you. What have been your highlights of the week?
Well, the highlights for the week this week. Well, I mean, one of the highlights I've had this week is actually sending out these pins. I can see you've got your pin on. One is probably a bit blurred and you can't see it, but these pins have been. Basically, Link4Growth had these produced so that we can recognise exceptional work with community building within Link4Growth, and they're down to it's up to the district leader to basically hand these out to the people in their communities. So I've been passing those to the district leaders that I've met in the week, and that's been a real that's a real good news thing. I really like that, because it's just showing people that that they are recognised for the effort they put in, and people are doing some amazing things out there. So that's been one of the things. I'm really been chuffed really with the volume and the level of support that is being given to new people coming into Link4Growth. And you know, it is a simple thing, Link4Growth, but there is a lot to it. And you know, just from the point of view of things like finding a venue, you know, what do you say to the venue? How do you explain it? You know, what we're doing to them to get them to be positive and to want to help. It's just simple things like this. But until you know, you don't know. And there's been a hell of a lot of support this week right across the network, people sharing their experiences and stuff like that. And that's just an amazing thing. And I mean, I know that Jerry up in the north has been supporting people all over the place. And, you know, I mean, we have to realise that Jerry's only been involved with Live for quite a short period of time. But because she's like all action, it's like there's loads of ground has been covered, and she's got some events up and running real quickly, and she's really starting to lead, and she's done some really good work. So, you know, as I mentioned, I was going to sort of mention people as I go through this today, and you know, we can't, you know, we just have to recognise people that are doing some really good things. So that was another highlight for me, was the, you know, it's not down to me to give the support. It's for all of us to contribute and help each other up, because that's just the way it's going to work. I'm really pleased because I've done a couple of events in London this week to see that the London team is really growing as well. And you know, we've got some really good people in London, and this is giving people an opportunity to start opening up new areas of London so we can take Link4Growth to a much wider audience in there. So I'm really pleased to see that. And of course, Team Watford. You know, the Watford team, Southwest Hearts, under your good self's direction, I think we've just cruised up another level there. You know, I'm obviously part of that because I live here, but I just think we've got some real good engagement going with some fantastic people who are really, really passionate about the town, and this is vital, because if you get people that are passionate about the town, they want to see the town succeed. They want to see the people in the town succeed, and it just brings everybody. It brings the positivity up, and you get people really enjoying the fact that they're joining in with this team, this group of people that are buzzing about where they live, and it's just absolutely amazing. I've just been really pleased and proud to be part of that in Watford this week, because it's just really, it's just really come home this week how well that's happening. So. That's been a highlight for me, and also the T at the L4GT. Just what a wicked event, and to be honest, I think that, and this just came to me overnight. You know, tea in this country, you know, the tradition of the afternoon tea is slowly disappearing forever, and we need to bring it back, because that's something that, you know, I was in Singapore many moons ago. People say, "Oh, you're from England, afternoon tea." It's like we're known for this across the globe. And it's just so sad to see the tea rooms closing, nowhere you can go and celebrate this old tradition. And I think Link4Growth's got an opportunity and a responsibility, to be honest, to bring this back and start to make this, bring our old tradition back and make it popular again. And I'm all for doing that. So I'm a big afternoon tea fan, as you can probably guess. So I'm really going to shove that one forward. And the other thing I want to say, the last real highlight for the week, was Monday's L4G Mingle, which was the first one we had, 2 hours, first Monday of the month, in the afternoon, in the evening, from 7:30 to 9:30, and yeah, an opportunity for people right across the country, either in Link4Growth or not in Link4Growth, to come and join in and do some online networking. It's not about buy my stuff. It's not like these other hour things where everyone's just saying, look at me, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. This is about people networking online in a nice, relaxed, friendly way, and being introduced to other people right across the country. And that was really good fun. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I mean, I was on that. I know Team Watford were on that as well, and it was great to see that I got a chance to connect with people that I hadn't met before, because I just don't go to events up in Lincolnshire and up in other parts of the country where I can't get to. So it's really good to connect with people. And I always say to people that go and try out an event in a district, because you'll never know who you're meeting. There are so many districts close to where I am in South West Arts that are close to other districts, such as North West London and in Central London. So it's worth going and checking one out, because you're going to meet different people who you may be able to help, and they may be able to help you.
Yep, absolutely.
Talking about districts and kind of how we can get them better, have you got any tips for growing districts this week?
Um, yeah, there's a couple of things really that we've been working on in the background and that are going to make a massive difference. And one of them is attendee postcards. Now, a lot of districts don't know what these are. They've been really, really well used in the Cambridgeshire district with Nikki Pepper, who's implemented these from day one. And they're a way of getting the new peoples that are attending for the first time as details. But we've much improved those now. And I think they're going to be a real important tool in helping us to enable us to get people who are coming to events get the most out of Link4Growth much quicker. So I'm looking forward to those coming out. I believe they're being delivered on Monday. We've got 5,000 printed up, so they're going to be distributed across the districts very shortly. And the other thing is the district leaders manual. Now that is a huge task, but we've been beavering away on that in the background. There's still more work to be done on it. But I'm hoping that over the coming month we will be able to collect that all together, refine it, and basically get that out there. Because, as I said, although it's not complicated Link4Growth, there is a lot of different facets to it. And although most of it's common sense and easy, we just don't have a reference book for people to go to. And as we're growing much more quickly than we ever have, to have that rock solid base is going to be really important.
I know that I read part of about talking about districts and how to find how to set up an event. So you said you want to do an event. How do you go about that? And it's very difficult without something like this to know where you're going and how to talk to people and what to do after the event. And so it's going to be a really good way of getting people a level playing field. So the message about what you have to say at an event and what you have to do after the event is clear for everyone to find out.
Yep.
So looking forward to reading that. Have you got like a specific tip of the week maybe? I know you've talked about a few things about before this, but a tip of the week maybe.
Yeah, I mean, what I like to do is I like to sort of, because I go to quite a lot of events, what I do is I kind of want to pick up on something that's come out in the week and sort of expose that on this show. So it's like a little bit of a tip. And one of the things that's come up a few times this week is size of meetings. Now, the tea event over in Chingford, there was like 30 odd people at that. And whereas that's fantastic, because Link4Growth isn't based on finance and money, it's not about money, it's about getting people to talk to each other. I always get, it's always a bit of a like bittersweet type situation where you get 36 people, because I know that I could not possibly get round and speak to all those people with a level of detail that I would like to. So I go away from those meetings with a sense of frustration because there's just too many people there. But on the same token, I like there to be a lot of people because it's quite nice and buzzy and everybody's really having a good time. So, but it's not the same as old networking. Now, old networking, business networking, it was all about numbers because it was about membership and paying and money and profit and everything else, and the more the merrier. Well, Link4Growth, I mean, even if you have a group of 5 people, that's 5 one-to-ones, which ordinarily you'd have to spend 5 one-hour slots of your week going to 5 different places to have those meetings. But with Link4Growth, you can have all those meetings in one place. So my tip of the week is don't focus too much and worry too much. The events just are going to grow. You can't stop it. It's just a question of time. As people start to learn about Link4Growth, they're going to come along and meet other people. You can't stop it. But do bear in mind that, you know, the bigger they get, you might want to start thinking about breaking those into 2 meetings so that you've got another meeting that people can go to, so that you kind of do manage the numbers, because otherwise they can get too big.
Yeah, and I know some of my best events as district leader have been ones where there's only been maybe 10 people. We had 10 people in the Watford Regis event this week, and it was a better way because you got people in 2s and 3s talking rather than a big group of 6. Big group of 6 people can actually get to know each other more. And obviously go back and check out the community TV show for more information about that. Any collaboration updates for this week?
A couple of collaboration updates. I did mention it last week, but the Watford Women's Centre is doing some interesting work alongside Link4Growth with a photo competition of Watford buildings, and that's I think the adjudication of that happens week Monday, or Tuesday. But but that's a real good collaboration. It benefits the person who's taking the picture, it benefits the Watford Women's Centre, and it's an example of how you can get community engagement right across the piece. So I think that's a really good example of a community building activity, and I do encourage every district to not perhaps do that one, but think about how they can engage sections of the community, because the people want to do good things, and it's getting people to start being positive about their town and do something. So have a think about it, but I think that's a really good one. And I'm seeing the Michael Green Foundation this week. There's a little collaboration going on in the background where I'm connecting them. They're involved in trying to help people who've got diabetes type 2. It's a local charity to Watford, but they've got aspirations of being national. Plugged into the Link4Growth community, of course, they can then access the district leaders and all those other people in all the other districts that we're currently operating, and they can take their message out to a much wider audience much faster than they ever could before, and at much lower cost. I'm also working with them with a project, hooking them up with a medical company to see if we can get them a test that will enable them to actually have a product which they can then make some money from, which will help to fund their growth over the coming years. So that's just a couple of exciting projects that we're working on at the moment locally. I do encourage, I know Jerry's got some examples with up in her neck of the woods with a charity called Mind. Similar type of idea can dovetail into L4G Youth, the 16-25-year initiative, and there's some CSI stuff happening in different parts of the country as well. So these are ways of spreading good ideas quickly, nationally, and delivering best practice right across the piece. And that's really where the Link4Growth platform comes into its own, and that's why the national coverage is so important.
Sounds really good and great stuff collaborating there. Have we got any subscription updates at all for this week?
I mentioned last week, I'll just mention it once more, there's a new Pinterest board that we're putting together, which is L4Gers in the news. So if you have anybody that's an L4Ger in your areas, that's right across the country, who are in the news, then do make sure you let people know in Link4Growth, because we want to get that information out to a much wider audience, and we can support and help you do that. So if you're doing great stuff out there, do get in touch with us. There is a thread on the forum about why we're building communities on Google+. I just want to remind you that that's there, so do go on there and read that thread. It talks about why we've got them, what their purpose is, how we're using them, and why it's good for your local communities and helping you to build Link4Growth in your district. So do go on there and read those.
Sounds brilliant, sounds good. What about this week coming up? What have we got coming up this week?
Right, well, this week coming up, we've got one day is like mad actually, but anyway, I'll go through it quickly. Monday we've got Farnham, Tuesday we've got Nuneaton and Bedworth, Peterborough drinks in the evening, we've got Piccadilly drinks in central London. On Tuesday there's a Facebook workshop I mentioned earlier, so if you're not booked into that and you want to know more about Facebook, get yourself booked in. Wednesday we've got Harrow Paradise Wildlife Park. That's fantastic. If it's good weather, get yourself out to the Paradise Wildlife Park. They get on a veranda, it overlooks the lions and stuff like that. It's really awesome. So if you've never been to that, get yourself down there and take in a bit of a wildlife park as well. Luton is happening on Wednesday at the Regis, and there's Saltburn Drinks, which is overlooking the fabulous bay of Saltburn. That's amazing, and I'm going up for that. I want to go up there and catch that one. On Thursday we've got a red car breakfast. Gravesend is coffee, Watford coffee. No, hang on, Watford drinks. Sorry, and Cardiff. Cardiff breakfast. No, it's Cardiff drinks.
It's not what. It's the Watford coffee.
Oh, it's the Watford coffee and the Cardiff drinks. Sorry, I got that around the wrong way. And Thursday we've also got the Google Plus with Intent workshop. So again, if you're struggling with Google Plus, get yourself booked on that. And Friday we've got Hitchin Coffee, Hornchurch Coffee, and Boreham Wood Coffee. So loads happening next week.
Always good, always good. Any announcements, shout out, any last minute shout outs?
Right, announcements. Soon it'll be national newsletter time, so we're going to be working on that this week. I mentioned L4GT. If you're thinking about something in your district, do bear in mind the T. Also, I want to give another mention to the L4G cookbook. This was your idea, I believe, Alex. And you know what? That's really gathering a load of interest. There's more details on the forum, but actually, you know, having a cookbook about real food that ordinary people are cooking in normal kitchens, that's healthy and nutritious and doesn't take very long, and anyone can do it, being provided collaboratively by the community. What a wonderful idea. And I just can see us having 3, 4, 5 generations of these cookbooks as we move through the coming years. So do get yourself involved in that and start putting up. I'm going to put a couple of recipes up this week because I want 2 in that book, and I'm going to be the first to put them up. So if anybody wants to stop me, then get yours up there before me. A book update now. The Ogle book, Link4Growth, What If We Knew You? It's finished. It's off for publication, I believe, as of probably the close of play Monday. So I'm putting in an order for a load of books, which will probably take 7 days to get physically, so that'll be the week after next. I'm hoping the Kindle version might be available at the end of next week. So that's imminent. The pricing, I can confirm now because the number of pages has gone up because of the choice of font size we've used. It's going to be £5 on Kindle, £8 at events, and £12 if you buy it on Amazon. Last thing. I'm going to be doing another 1,000 miles next week, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start taking some video of my journey around the UK as of next, the coming week. So Monday I'm going to be in Farnham, on Tuesday I'm going to be in Coventry, on Wednesday I'm going to be in Luton, and then I'm going to be at Saltburn. I'm going to be in Thursday, I'm going to be in Redcar. Thursday evening I'm going to be in Cardiff. Friday I'm going to be in Hitchin, and then it's going to be the weekend again. So I'm going to be taking video of my travels. It might be a bit of a mishmash, but we'll see if there's a friendly video editor in Link4Growth. Mine's slapping it into some kind of shape so it's watchable. But it'll be just good to do like a week's tour of where I've been, if you like, which people can watch if they're interested.
Sounds something different. Again, have you thought when you're doing your big long drives about getting some Link4Growth kind of car stickers on the side, on the panel, so people, when you're doing your 1,000 miles, people see this flash of orange L4D.
I have actually got those designed already. It's just a question of getting somebody that's, and here's one, if you're watching or you know anybody that can do vinyl panels that are magnetic that you can put on side of cars, get them to give me a call this week because I am in the market to get that done.
There we go. Something you wasn't expecting to talk about. Anything else? Are we good to wrap up for this week?
That's it. It's another mega week next week. It's you know, as we get through August, I know it's going to really start to be absolutely pandemonium. So we're well on our way to achieving what we set out to do, which is 150 events per month by the end of the year. You know, we just got to hammer away and get that done because we want to be national. We want to have that national coverage to make the most of what Link4Growth is doing and the platform we're building.
Sounds good, and thanks for having me on this week.
Yeah, fantastic. No, good to have you. And who's going to be on next week?
I don't know.
Okay, cheerio.
Cheerio, good to speak to you.